Thank you very much for watching this video. Before we begin, I wanted to include a disclaimer, as I include in my about section as well as in the description of this video. All of my readings are for entertainment purposes only. They are never, ever meant to diagnose, treat, or otherwise have any influence upon your own medical issues or situations that you may have. I always encourage everyone to make their own sound decisions, including legal matters, financial matters, and every other matter in your own life. These are for entertainment purposes only. As these are general tea leaf readings, again, it makes sense, therefore, that some of this information will resonate with you and some of it may not. You may find that some applies and some doesn't. That is completely normal and to be expected, as these are general tea leaf readings. So again, take what you will and leave what you don't, and simply enjoy your reading and hope that you find it informative and insightful. Thank you. Well, hi everyone. How are you doing today? I hope that your day is going really well and that you were able to enjoy the past couple of weeks and that you had a really awesome time and that you had an amazing weekend. I am recording this on Sunday, May the 7th in the evening, and I'm intending to post this tomorrow. Maybe you're watching this today. My tomorrow, your today, our today. Monday, May the 8th of 2023. Yes, May 8th. And this is a general bi-weekly tea leaf reading for the weeks of May the 8th, as well as the weeks of May 15th. So this week and next week. And we'll be looking into the weekend. So that's going to be around May 20th and 21st, heading into the following week, which is May 22nd. Of this year. So I hope that you enjoyed this general bi-weekly tea leaf reading. I have the leaves all here. I have the cup ready. I am going to be taking some pictures of the tea leaves and posting it in the video at the end of this reading so that you can look at them and get a bit more information and a bit more details, basically so that you can see what I'm seeing. But quickly, I will show them to you right now. I haven't even looked at them, so you are definitely getting a sneak peek right now. This is my first glimpse of them, and I am very short-sighted, so I really can't see much right now in the camera. It's very blurry, but those are the leaves. Oh, I do see that. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so this is a layout that I do often see, where we do have one main eventer situation being shown at the side, on the side of the cup, right here. It is fairly significant. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your subscribes. Thank you for all of your likes, your comments, your views. You are absolutely phenomenal. This most recent tea leaf reading, that was for the weeks of, let me see, April the 24th and May 1st. As of now, and it's around 10 o'clock or so in the evening of May the 7th, we're approaching 600, it's over 650 views. I think it's probably closer to 670 views right now, as of like an hour ago. So, I mean, my goodness, thank you so much. This video, that video has nearly reached 700 views. You are all so phenomenal. Thank you for taking the time to watch it, for liking, for commenting, subscribe. Like, honestly, thank you so much. It's absolutely mind-blowing that it's almost 700 views in one video alone. Wow, you're amazing. You are amazing, and I love you, and thank you so much. You are making this channel, like, I can't, how can I even thank you? But I'm thanking you. Yeah, speechless and humbled. That's how I'm feeling right now. Yeah, really. So, thank you. So, without further ado, I just wanted to briefly say that before I jump into the tea leaf reading. I got so excited when I was looking at the tea leaves. I was like, oh my gosh, this looks so good. Let's dive right in. Wait a second. Needed to put in a thank you. So thank you so much. And I do hope that you've been enjoying the tea leaf readings. I do hope that it does seem that you are. And here we go. So we're posting this next bi-weekly tea leaf reading. And I am posting a few more videos, a few more shorts coming up this week. General bi-weekly tea leaf reading for this coming week and next week, heading into, actually it's Victoria Day here in Canada. So May 22nd. So let's see what is in the leaves. Beginning at the rim, so this is today, tomorrow, May 8th. It does appear as though this week does begin with a few smaller events or situations taking place. Not overly significant, I would say, for those scenarios. And when I say that, I mean that there's a few individual smaller situations taking place, likely 5. That said, however, there is one major main event or scenario taking place that is the main focus, the main situation, the main scenario, and it is highly significant. It's taking up more than 90%, I would say, of the cup, at least 90%. Where things are calm and clear and quiet, and we're happy with that, and or we want things to get moving a little bit more. Now, as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, we do have this one main event or situation, which again is a layout that I often see. That's like the hub, the main focus for the next 2 weeks. It does begin from what I'm seeing on Monday, and it does carry on throughout the next 2 weeks and into the base and well into the following week. So the week of May the 22nd. I'm also going to take a quick peek around the sides of the cup just to give an overview. Approximately 10 different individual events or situations taking place during the next 2 weeks. Not very significant in and of themselves. However, I'm just saying this in case it does make sense to you at some point in time during the next 2 weeks. One of those situations does involve unconditional love, support, loyalty, and commitment. Action, speed, momentum is included with that, as well as messages, news, and/or information, and writing. This may be some form of education as well, either that or a document of some kind that has 2 different parts to it, but there's positive messages, news, and/or information arriving regarding that specifically. And it does move ahead, that situation does move ahead fairly easily. Unconventional stability. So when I say that, for example, I use a metaphor a lot. I use examples a lot to convey what I'm seeing, because in tea leaf reading it really is an and or, and I have literally have no idea what the situation is referring to, but it describes the situation. So whenever I see an unconventional stability, by that I mean, for example, you decide to paint boxes, sell them online, and you make money from them. It's unconventional, but it is stability. That situation itself is unconventional stability from what I'm seeing here. And it does carry on into the end of next week. So if I had to put an estimate on timing, I would say that for here, we're looking at around May the 18th, 19th, thereabouts. Now, what happens at around that time is that there's going to be one main event or scenario that is quite literally all encompassing. However, again, it's very positive. It's just that there are different sections to it. Specifically, there's 1, 2 different scenarios that is associated with that or comprised of it, or that it is comprised of. But we'll look at that in a few minutes, but I'm just saying that because that's what I'm seeing. There's going to be an event or scenario taking place at around that time. And part of it is indirectly related to the main scenario, and part of it is directly related to the main scenario. So as the situation, the main event or scenario does unfold, it's almost like it results in 2 different parts, or one scenario that has 2 different parts to it. And that again is taking place at the end of next week, latter part of next week. But this main event or situation itself does begin, like I said, likely on Monday. There is definitely reassurance that's being indicated regarding it. There may be a slight scenario of bewilderment, but also maybe a little bit of cheekiness. Like, oh, well, that's interesting. That kind of emotion. Definitely a sense of happiness, maybe even victory associated with that. There may be a house that's involved, a house, property, location of some, house, property, or location. There very well could likely be 2 scenarios. From what I'm seeing, there's 2 houses or there's 2 properties. One of the properties is maybe less obvious, maybe even more significant, but it's just maybe not the best fit, but the other one really is. The smaller, less significant, maybe even overlooked, or maybe even smaller property from what I'm seeing. It's very well formed. It really is a state of flux. It's almost like one situation is more ready for you than the other in terms of housing or property of some kind or location. But it is a good scenario, and that's where that sort of victorious, feeling good scenario is associated with. And there is a happy face here. So it is a good situation, and there is unconditional love, support, loyalty, and commitment related to that. It does involve a conclusion of some kind, action, speed, momentum, things taking place quickly. Associated with that is a person, place, or thing with the letter L in their name, and that takes place or becomes more relevant or more obvious or more known after that situation unfolds. at the beginning of this week. At the same time, abundance and prosperity, new opportunities. There may be a very small short-term scenario at the start of the week where we may feel a little bit discontented regarding a situation, but it really is very short-lived. But again, we do have this L connection, a person, place, or thing with the letter L. And I would say that there's just a reminder for perception. There may be, again, a very short period of time at the start of the week where we feel a little bit discontented, maybe not 100% happy with a certain scenario, but again, it's just, I would say it's a matter of perception and perspective, because you really have everything that you need. You have the ability to create whatever it is that you want to create for the good. So I would just say, keep going and make sure that you're focusing your awareness where you want to focus it on, essentially. Focus on what it is that you want to focus on. There is an American connection with this in some way, shape, or form, as well as action, speed, momentum, things taking place rather quickly, as well as a new opportunity, a new idea. And by focusing on that one, making a wish, that one opportunity, that one idea that you have, that, from what I'm seeing, it does create this new opportunity that I just mentioned. And it does look like a very good scenario, and there is a partnership that is beginning to form as a result of that. That does result in a person, place, or thing, likely a person with the letters W in their name. Number 3, potentially as well, but multiple people involved. A sense of learning, wisdom, education, furthering your knowledge, gaining insights. Person, place, or thing, likely a person with the letter E involved. Being able to go about your tasks, getting things done, almost like incognito, very quietly, very assuredly, very steadily, getting things completed, almost like under the radar in a way. Messages, news, and or information involved. Receiving something tangible, like within your hands. A package of some kind, potentially. Really furthering your knowledge. I've seen so far, and then in the same vicinity at the beginning of this whole scenario, 2 people reading books, 2 people looking down at books. So this could literally mean that you're reading a book. However, can very well also mean furthering your knowledge. This is what I mean. Tea leaf reading really is an and or, literal, symbolic, and or both. So there is this, you're either reading a book, twice, and or it's learning about a scenario, learning about gaining knowledge, gaining wisdom, abundance and prosperity. I'll say it for the last time, just so I'm not being repetitive. However, there are many helpful people involved in this whole situation. Again, I would just say that there is this small reminder of perception, perspective, glass half full versus glass half empty scenario. Letter W, person, place, or thing, likely a person, abundance and prosperity. There's 2 sections regarding that. Unconditional love, support, loyalty, and commitment. Messages, news, and or information. Nurturing aspect. And there's a person, likely a woman with the letter S in her name. Does not have to be me. Maybe it is. I don't know. But there's a person, there's a woman with the letter S in her name. Somehow this involves a new opportunity as well as a conclusion of some kind. Open communication. I know we are in Mercury retrograde still. I am aware of that. But it is a very loving and harmonious scenario. Gaining knowledge. I mean, overall for this whole event, lots of surprises, lots of action, knowing where we stand, and at the same time, many surprises all at once. It's almost like 50-50. Action and thinking. Unconditional love, support, loyalty, and commitment. Getting things organized as well as abundance and prosperity. And there's also likely money involved around the middle of this week. And again, there's messages, news, and or information that's being, that you're receiving and or sending is associated with that. It's an abundance and prosperity that's just beginning to form that results in helpful people. The whole scenario that's still very much forming, but it's a very, very good scenario. Action, momentum, things taking place rather quickly. Happiness. Letter S, potentially involved with that as well. Unconventional stability. Actually, it's more conventional stability. And it's a very loving scenario. Swiftness of movement. Going about things maybe rather quietly, but also fast-paced as well. Likely a connection to a house, a property, location of some kind. But it's a very good, loving scenario. And there's positive messages, news, and or information regarding that's present. Person, place, or thing with the letters C and or G that's involved. There could, one of them, if it is an individual, there's likely a fire sign that's involved. And it is a very much protective scenario. Protection, reassurance, unconditional love, support, loyalty, and commitment. Nothing is getting past that beautiful dragon that is present in that scenario. We're very much protected. Doesn't mean we're in danger. It just means that there's protection and reassurance regarding that scenario that Source wants to convey. communication between multiple people, open communication. Letter J, 2 people, actually 3 people in communication. I won't say this again for the sake of being repetitive. However, at the beginning of this week, as this week progresses as well, there is a lot of communication that I keep seeing. People are openly communicating. New beginning, new opportunity. 2 parts to it. Letters W and E involved. Lots of thinking and talking regarding that. Action, speed, momentum, messages, news, and or information. Going within, taking time out for your own self-care, your own inner self-awareness, possibly even some shadow work, meditation, yoga, anything along those lines. But there is a sense, definitely, certainly, of going within. Letter E is associated with that, and again, letter W, and also using your analytical intellect skills. A lot of unconditional love, support, loyalty, and commitment. Very loving scenario. I keep seeing the letter W. I keep seeing hearts in different locations. It's a very loving scenario, as well as creativity, new creative projects, working with new people, new opportunities, new beginnings. So now we're approaching approximately the end of this week, heading into next week. Letter F. There's some connection regarding a house of some kind. House, property, location. Messages, news, and or information arriving regarding that. Letter J. New opportunity. That's also a conclusion. Conclusions don't mean anything bad. It just means we need conclusions so something new can start. But something is concluding regarding that scenario. There is a surprise regarding that. Letter E. Abundance and prosperity. Small reminder for glass half full, glass half empty perspective. Letter C. Person, place, or thing. Abundance and prosperity yet again, and I will say it one more time. Open communication between 2 people. There may be an English connection or a UK connection with one of the individuals. Again, letter E. Reassurance. I keep saying reassurance. Doesn't mean anything bad. Just again means that we are protected. Abundance and prosperity. This specifically, there's an area of reassurance being indicated at the start of next week, May 15th, and it's regarding abundance and prosperity. It's a small scenario, but there are some surprises regarding that. It's a new opportunity that's involved. Definitely reassurance regarding this. It has 2 different parts to it. It may involve some travel, a different location outside of your own region from where you live. It's not being where you are, but it's outside of it. And it's a very good positive scenario. There's a connection with housing, houses, property, forging, creating new things, going for whatever it is that you want to have. We are feeling uninhibited at the beginning of next week, thereabouts, going for whatever it is that we want to have. Now, there also may very well be a Sagittarius connection, so someone who is Sagittarius. If not that, it's like the qualities of that sign. The philosopher, the thinker, the going for whatever it is that you want to have. Action, speed, and movement, but really not feeling uninhibited at all. Freedom of movement, going for whatever it is that we want to have. And feeling happy and empowered to do so. New creative projects, new beginnings. Letter N, messages, news, and or information. I'll say this in case it makes sense to you. There may be a pregnancy of some kind. Now, whether that is an actual physical pregnancy, and or it could also very well be what I just said. Creativity, create new creative projects, creating new things. Really is a time of blossoming. There's a flower that's beautifully blooming. A new beginning, new opportunities. Again, this could literally be a physical child being born. If so, congratulations. It could be that, and or this creativity that's just completely opening up next week. A lot of happiness regarding that. There is a spiritual, sacred, esoteric quality to it, however. I do see number 7. That's why I'm saying that. Now, I'm saying number 7 specifically in case that has a bearing or relevance to you yourself. New opportunities, but it's being contemplated. There's a person with a letter M in their name, M as in Magdalene, M. Reassurance regarding that. Number 3 and Y, maybe G as well. 4. Reassurance and abundance, new beginning, new opportunity, being contemplated. Letter J, person, place, or thing. Sense of happiness and going for what we want to have, not feeling that we can't do it, feeling like we're empowered to do so. 4 and Y. W, reassurance yet again. Happiness, getting things organized. Excitement, travel, doing something unconventional. House, property, new opportunity regarding that. This may literally be somewhere where there's a deer, where deer are present. E and W again. and 3 and F and E again. Messages, news, and or information, that's related to the home and or family, and that's where the deer is associated with it. I keep seeing references to reassurance. So when I see if I see the same image repeated or different images with the same or similar meaning, it's a message that the universe, God, divine source, creator would like to convey in here of reassurance, knowing that everything's okay, keep going, everything's okay. At every single turn throughout the next 2 weeks, I keep saying everything is okay. There's reassurance that's being shown. Obviously, Source wants us to know that. And to know that we are divinely protected. It's never about being passive. When I say those things, I don't mean that I don't mean that, oh, we have to be passive in our lives. Oh, it's fine. We don't have to worry about it. No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we do have protection in our lives. That's what I'm saying. We can still be active participants in our lives. I'm not telling you not. I mean, I would never say to be a passive participant in your own life. However, what I am saying is that there is divine protection and reassurance being indicated during the next 2 weeks. New opportunities, abundance and prosperity. E, 3, new beginnings. Something new is being contemplated at the end of next week. L, O, E, 5, and maybe S. Those letters and numbers are related. And as we head into next weekend, there's going to be one specific scenario that does lead into the weekend and heading into the following week. There's a lot of surprises regarding this, so we are obviously not meant to know what this is specifically is regarding. However, there's a lot of happiness and reassurance regarding it. A lot of playfulness, love. Number 4, open communication. There could be a bit of a romance budding. That's a total possibility. Just saying. But it does look like a very good scenario. There's a lot of reassurance, nurturing energy regarding that whole situation. There's working with different people, working with multiple people, new creative projects, reassurance, unconditional love, support, loyalty, and commitment, protection, going for whatever it is that we want to have, freedom of movement, happiness, joy, not feeling inhibited, feeling free, going for whatever it is that we want to have, love, abundance, but a lot of surprises, new opportunities, new creative projects, feeling a little bit cheeky, we're feeling confident, we're feeling good. Reassurance and protection are definitely qualities that I'm seeing in here. Going for whatever it is that we want to have. Also, someone who is rather magical, maybe even spiritual, and they are Aries or Taurus. It's a magical time. Abundance, a lot of thinking and talking. However, this scenario, this main surprise, this main abundance, essentially there's 5 different scenarios, 5 different parts to it. However, they are all connected. A new opportunities being contemplated and being presented, but we are not supposed to know what they are. So I'm going to leave at the base as it is. All I'm going to say is, however, I am extraordinarily excited to see what that's going to be. Very much so. I'm very curious. Looking briefly around the sides, around the end of next week, that one main scenario that I had mentioned before, properties also being indicated, abundance and prosperity, messages, news, and or information, new opportunities being contemplated, reassurance, open communication between 2 people, transformation, new beginnings, W, R, those letters involved, letter C, messages, news, and or information, maybe even specifically plane travel, air travel, a lot of reassurance, helpful individuals around, specifically a woman. Now that may even be regarding a departed loved one as well. I wish I could give more information, but that's what I'm seeing. Other than the fact that there is a woman here with a dog, small dog, E and N. There's just reminders, however, for perspective, perception. W and or H, independent thought, letter X and or K. Number 4, action, speed, and movement. New opportunities, letter P. Letter M as in Magdalene. Abundance and prosperity. I keep seeing the same and similar images. Partnerships. Unconditional love, support, loyalty, and commitment. Number 3 as well. And the letter E. And happiness. Friends, my dear friends. I'm going to leave that there. I genuinely really hope that you enjoyed that tea leaf reading. We have so much to look forward to. I'm exceptionally curious, as always, what this is going to be.
If you like to leave any comments in the comment section below, if any of this information you can validate, if it applies to you, and of course, if you would like to share publicly, please go ahead and do so. You're more than welcome to. If you'd like to even just write to me and say, oh, that makes sense to me, please feel free to email me as well. You're most welcome to do so. Thank you so much again for being here, and I truly hope that you found this tea leaf reading helpful.
As promised, here are the pictures of the tea leaves from this reading. You can tell from my voice that I am still recovering from this cold. I truly hope that you found this reading to be helpful. If so, please do consider subscribing to this channel if you have not yet already. It really, truly, it does help, and it is helping. Maybe even ringing that bell for future updates, giving this video a like, and leaving a comment in the comment section below. You're all amazing. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.